And welcome back to another edition of Classic Doom Walkthroughs. Today we are continuing along with the WAD, the Troopers Playground, an official Doom WAD. This is Map 5, Underground Temple. I like this map. There's a lot of good enemy placement. There's a few twists and turns. I really do like the layout of the map. The one thing I did notice on this map, and of course you will notice it in previous maps, they leave you an awful lot of rockets but no rocket launcher. And it does make you wonder if this WAD was really designed entirely to play as a continuous playthrough. As you know, there are two schools of thought as how to play and to do these walkthroughs as a continuous playthrough or as a pistol start each time. I try to do the compromise method, which I use a pistol start and then I only pick up and use weapons in each individual map, otherwise I don't use them. But sometimes I wonder, because there's a lot of rockets on this map, for example, some Barons and some Mankibai, but no rocket launcher. Just an observation anyway. The game is powered by GZDoom using the Doom 2 Unity port. As always, we're playing on the ultra-violence difficulty setting, the 4th slot of difficulty, in order to get 100% in all three of these categories. There are 140 kills to be had, 3 secrets to find, and 15 items to pick up. Hope to be able to show you how to do that. With a little bit of flair too, why not, and a little bit of fun. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to dispose of a couple of gunners and grab at least one shotgun or two. Primarily, we hope dodging the Spectres, so we can just use some shotgun ammo here. Maybe lure the shotgunner over here. So we're going to go ahead and open the door, grab the shotgun, and hope for a little bit of infighting with the imps, the Spectres, and that'll pretty well take care of that. So I'm not exactly sure which imp is the one that caught the attention of the Spectre. I guess it doesn't really matter, because now we're going to take care of the Spectre ourselves. So we'll take a look around here, look at our environment. So we can't get to this area yet, but once we get through certain areas, it'll of course open up. Blue key door, red key door. We don't have either key. That's understandable. That leaves one area. So why don't we go ahead and start? So there are a couple of gunners there, but there's a well-placed gunner at the top of the stairs. You can see him right there. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead? Actually, I'll pick up the super shotgun, which I think is important. Yes, let's go ahead and pick up that super shotgun where the imps were. And because I don't use free look, this is a little bit more difficult than it should be, because you can't really see down very well if you don't use free look. But I'm stubborn that way. I don't like using free look. But if you do, it'll be easier to pinpoint the arachnotron. Some enemies down this corner, some gunners too, so just be careful when you poke your head around. Switch to the regular shotgun. Well, I guess once we dispose of the Spectre. There is a shotgunner there, and there are chain gunners in each one of these two windows. So let's go ahead. We need to dispose of them. Now that we got rid of one, we can a little bit more comfortably approach the other to dispose of it. Now we can't get the blue key. No big surprise. It's going to actually ascend as soon as we pass through the passage. In its place will be an arch file, and once we dispose of the arch file, we can get the blue key. Now you can see there's a switch on either side. We can go left or we can go right. We're going to go right, and I'll explain in a moment. So first, there's 2 imps here to dispose of, and by hitting these switches, it does lower each half of this wall. But if you lower this, hit this switch first, it will lower only or remove the top half, which will allow the enemies to come forward, not be able to shoot you, but they will infight. And you can save a little bit of ammo, maybe have a little bit of spectator fun if you like. Why they are not firing is a bit of a mystery. All right, there we go. So let's go ahead and just leave them to it. Just another couple of imps here, nothing too serious. Break out your super shotgun now, because as soon as you press the switch, the other barrier will be removed, and the survivor or survivors will approach. Usually there's a couple of chain gunners. There's a shotgunner anyway. All right, we're going to go ahead and make our turn to the left this time. I was going to say there are enemies in this cage, and that's fine. Take out your chain gun, since we have a chain gun. Let's go ahead and dispose of the enemies. They include a Kako, some imps, and some shotgunners. And that's that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, I wouldn't say jump or anything, but kind of run quick so we kind of leap. Press that switch. That will raise a column here, which we'll use in a moment, but it will also release a bunch of imps. So we're going to want to press that switch and kind of get out of the room. So why don't we go ahead? I'm not sure why I switched to the pistol. That really wasn't necessary. I wasn't shooting the switch. And that should be it. There we go. So you clear out the imps that way. If you didn't do as well, there's a stim pack there for and a little bit of ammo. So what does this column do? Well, you can see there's another switch up there, but you can't legitimately press it or shoot it from anywhere. But now that this column is here, you just press the column. It'll lift you up, and if you time it right, you'll be able to shoot that switch pretty easily. There you go. And that, of course, has released the first half of what is blocking for this switch. So now we can go to this side. There is that super chain gunner from Wolfenstein, the SS person, who I usually like to have, no brother, shoot the Mancubus, but it doesn't seem like the super chain gunner is interested in doing anything today, so we're just going to have to take care of the Mancubus ourselves. That teleporting, by the way, was the archvile into that column. So now I guess maybe with the chain gun, we can go ahead and dispose of that enemy. Yeah, mine Laban. And there are a few enemies here, nothing too serious. You can just dispose of with either the shotgun or the chain gun. So now what we're going to do is, I'll just let you know, we're going to have to shoot that switch. It will open up this area. There's also a secret here. We can't access it. It will be a secret for a mega armor. It's not available to us yet. We have to complete this little task first. So we're going to shoot this switch, but it will open up the area to reveal a Revenant and some other enemies. We don't want to be standing here when that happens. So we do want to just get out of dodge, round the corner. We're going to use the top of the stairs on the left as our hold point to dispose of the enemies at very little risk to us. There we go. And I think we just have one more Spectre. And that's that. So let's go ahead and collect the goodies. And like I said, there is a secret here that is now available to us. Yeah, let's get that Mega Armor. Always nice. Hitting that switch will allow us to get into here. There'll be two Spectres with the final switch that will reveal our ability to hit the switch for the Archvile. Now again, like I said at the beginning, should we be using rockets? I mean, I don't know, maybe, but we only have the super shotgun realistically, I guess, for the Archvile. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the jump on the Archvile. Oh, brother, looks like the Archvile got the jump on me. That was pretty terrible dodging. I went right into the wall. Okay. Oh, well. So as soon as we grab that key, yes, there will be a bunch of Spectres. So armed with your super shotgun, do feel free to clear out the room using this area as your whole point. Do not go back the other way. Fairly straightforward. Only one Spectre can come at a time. That's why I take this position. Now you can see here's some shotgun ammo and some health. That's really good. But you can see there's more rockets. Again, there's no rocket launcher. So I'm not really sure why they keep giving you rockets unless they intend you to play through. But I digress. So now, armed with the blue key, you know what's next. Yeah, we go to the blue door and we open that up. And let's go ahead and we'll just take care of these imps with the regular shotgun. You can use the chain gun too, of course. Now, break out the super shotgun because our next secret is right here. You can see the wall's not quite the same. In fact, even on the ceiling it shows some shade. There will be gunners behind there, so let's open it up and fire as we open. Dodge, and then dispose of the rest of the enemies. Yeah, tag the secret. Grab the goodies, always nice. Counts towards our 100% too. Now we can go ahead and move towards some map progression. We're not going to go up the stairs, but we are going to take care of the two imps that are there just because they're available. A chain gunner will come very soon for there, so let's be careful of that. We don't have the yellow key, but there are two shotgunners and an imp that we can kind of in a cheap shot kind of way just dispose of here so we don't have to deal with them later. And I say why not? So we've disposed of quite a few enemies just by standing there. Now, chain gun. The chain gunner is usually here by now. No, he hasn't come by. All right, well, that's not too bad. There is a Baron down there, and there's also... Oh, there's the chain gunner. I guess he never did come by. There's a bunch of lost souls, most annoyingly. So why don't we go ahead, get the party started. Let's go ahead and just get rid of that enemy so it doesn't keep walking towards us. And yes, we will have a 5? Is it 5 lost souls? Let's try to get their attention. There we go. The Baron can't really get us from here unless we're really kind of over the edge. Come here, you. I think there's one more. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Oop. Shotgunner almost got the jump on us. No, I think we got all the lost souls. That's pretty good. So now we're going to turn to the right with another chain gunner. There's going to be another shotgunner on the corner and a chain gunner along with a Mancubus. There's the shotgunner. So why don't we go ahead There we go, and now we've disposed of those enemies. I use that area as our whole point. I do go to the right of this pillar, just because it's you have a better vantage point. There will be a Spectre to the left, and now we just have a couple of imps. This is not a damaging floor, it's just the blood floor, so you can go ahead and run around there if you want. There's some health if you weren't as fortunate. Go ahead and grab it. And of course, yeah, let's hit the switch and pick up the ammo too. There's some shotgun shells in 2 locations. But this is the other part I meant about the rocket launcher. Should there be a rocket launcher here? Would it make sense to use it against 2 Barons? I mean, I think so. But there isn't a rocket launcher, so we're just going to have to use our super shotgun. Now, the shotgun shells are fairly generous. I wouldn't say that we're dying from a shortage of ammo or anything at this point. So we're going to go ahead, grab the backpack, grab the yellow key. Now, usually we can get the Baron and the Kako to infight. It doesn't seem, well, I guess we'll just see. I do want to take care of the Kako, though. The Kako is a little bit more realistic to reach from this area. The Baron is not unless we have a rocket launcher, which we don't. So now, armed with the yellow key, these enemies are disposed of, so we can kind of cavalierly make our way through here. And now back up, because there are some chain gunners in those alcoves. We're going to go all the way hard left of this area and stop at the door entrance. There's a Spectre as well. Switch back to the chain gun. There we go, and there's also a Revenant up there. Okay, looks like the Revenant has been silenced. And now it's just a shotgunner and a chain gunner. We can go ahead and use our chain gun for that. Now, this is an interesting area that will take you a long time to figure out if you don't know how it all works. Now, this area hides a secret with a supercharge. And this area, which has a Spectre inside, is basically the switch to the door. So how you get that is you run off and you can land onto this landing and able to press that switch after you fell the Spectre, but there's no way to run and get that. So the only way to really get that, oh, by the way, that switch opens this door. So if you open the door first, you're unlikely to be able to get the secret. So you have to go ahead and press the door. Doesn't open, of course, but this lowers. So now you can go ahead in here and press the switch, and you can get your secret. You have to do it in this order, I think, because once you press that switch, the door opens, and I don't think it'll allow you to do the press that switch. So let's go ahead and strafe run to the best of our ability. Probably should use a super shotgun, I think. Now press the switch. That opens the door. Don't dilly-dally, because it's a time switch. Otherwise, you have to do that again. Look at all these rockets again. I mean, again, no rocket launcher. Just an observation. There are 2 Kakos. Oops. Oh, my goodness. What the heck am I doing? Two Kakos and two Barons. My goodness, I think I ran into 3 or 4 shots at the same time. Just god-awful. We do want some infighting, of course. We're using our super shotgun, really, and that's it. And since I've been shooting the Baron, he doesn't seem interested in the Kako. Which is good. Oop. Okay. Well, I think I could have danced a little better. I'm just going to be perfectly honest with you. That wasn't the best display of avoiding fireballs and plasma balls, but that's what it is. There are 3 Kakos here. I don't know where they went. Oh, they're all the way down there. Okay, usually they come a lot closer sooner than that. If they don't come closer sooner, we'll have to use the chain gun, but I typically dispose of them with the super shotgun. I don't know where the third one is. Normally there's 3. Oh, there it is. Okay. Just taking its sweet time, I guess. Okay, take out the chain gun here. All right, there we go. And as soon as we press that switch in front of us, that area will open up with 2 Revenants. There will also be a Mancubus in the other area and some other enemies. So our first order of business is to go ahead and take on the Revenants as quickly and as effectively as possible. Oh, it looks like the Revenant teleported out of the room, which does stink. Because we're going to have to teleport too into that area where the 2 switches were. And that's not a huge area to fight the Revenant. It's not common, actually, to be able to telefrag the Revenant, unfortunately. Some stim packs here if you need. Lots of health if you did as poorly or worse than I did as far as that goes. So why don't we go ahead? Am I... No, okay, just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Now we're going to have to be ready for the Revenant. So let's go ahead. Okay, so it looks like we ended up dodging the rockets just fine. And now we're done with this area, having obtained the yellow key. So let's go ahead. Out we go. So what that has done is that it has opened up, there's a gunner and a couple of gunners actually and an imp, but it's opened up that area, so those enemies have come from there. See, this was all barred up before, so now it's open. Similar to before, there is a couple of gunners and a couple of arachnotrons down there, in this case two. But first dispose of these 3 imps in the cage. I think actually the two gunners actually came up, so I don't think we're going to see them, but there might be an imp down there still. Yes, seems so. And basically all we're doing here is we're grabbing the red key. Not a damaging floor, so go ahead and grab it. Head up. I don't think there's really much else to do here except for go into the red door and open up the door. So what's here is each of these pillars are hiding revenants. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the door pop open, get a cheap shot in, get out of the way, and kind of use this area as a bit of a hold point. It really foils the Revenant's ability to fire their rockets effectively at you. 2 Barons were also released, but they're further back in the room, so I wouldn't be too worried about them initially. Now you can always fight them in the room. You can go inside and run around. That's okay too. That's what I'm going to do now. There's some health packs on either side, or there's a health pack and some shotgun shells. Since we're basically disposing of the larger enemies with shotgun shells, it's nice to pick up the box of shotgun shells here and there. Grab the Berserk pack. We finally get one, but there are no more pinkies or specters, so I guess it doesn't matter. Do take the invisibility, because just stepping on this will reveal 2 chain gunners. So what we're going to do is we're just going to dispose of them. Oop, jeez, but not miss. There we go. And now we're just going to grab a little bit of weapons, and we're going to do our final count, because this is the exit, actually. Yes, all 141 kills, all 3 secrets, and all 50 items. You know what that means, indeed. We are done. And that was Map 5 from the Trooper's Playground Underground Temple. I like this map. It's fun. There's a lot of stuff going on. I do like the enemy placement. I, again, question whether we should be doing this WOD as a complete playthrough, because there's an awful lot of rockets given on this map in particular, but with no rocket launcher, which, you know, it does beg the question. But as always, I do try to do the compromise run for my faithful viewers and new viewers. Of course, pistol starting, only using weapons that I find as I pick them up on an individual map. But anyway, those are 2 schools of thought. It's just an observation here. Anyway, that's it for Classic Doom Walkthroughs. If you did like what you saw, do hit that subscribe button, and you won't miss any further videos that I upload. For now, that is it for Classic Doom Walkthroughs. See you next time. Thanks.